Hi guys, so I'm going to show you how to put on an insulin pump. So being type 1 diabetic, I know that it's not the most common disease in the world, but I put money down that you know someone, or you know someone that knows someone that has diabetes. So being type 1 diabetic means that my body is insulin dependent, that I don't create my own insulin, which helps break down sugars and carbs and all kinds of stuff and helps your body absorb the nutrients that you get from your food. So being that I don't create my own insulin, I have to either inject it, which I did for a really long time, but I am now on a pump, which helps a lot. So I'm going to show you guys the stuff that you're going to need to get together to put on an insulin pump. So first you're going to need the pump. So this is what it looks like. It comes in a cool little, they come in like packs of 10, so I get these. Insulin, there's different brands, but I like this one. And then looks like a cell phone, but it kind of goes with the pump because there's no tubing for this pump, which is really nice. I've had a pump with tubing, and it was okay, but I was just sick of getting caught on doorknobs. So this is Bluetooth, which is really nice. So what you're first going to do is obviously open it up, and it comes with the pump itself, and then a syringe that you just kind of twist on like that, and just like that. And so as you can see, it goes up to 200 milligrams of insulin, and that, depending on how good my carb intake is, could last me anywhere from 3 to 4 days. But after about 4 days, it expires, so then I have to change it. So that's what I'm doing right now. So first you want to open this up, and then you want to draw out some air, because if you don't, then it turns into a vacuum in here, and it's hard to get the insulin out. So and then you see all the little air bubbles, and it starts to come out like that. And then as you can see, there's a big air bubble, so we don't want that. So you draw it out, all 200 units, and then a vial will last me anywhere between like a month and a half, again depending on how my carb intake is. Because yes, every time I eat anything with carbs in it, I have to give myself insulin. So 200 units, and so there's a little hole right here, and then there's a reservoir in here where the insulin would sit. So you just put all of it in here, and then once it's full, you should hear a little beep. Alrighty. And then what's nice about these is you can just unscrew the cap, and the needle comes off separately, so you can just throw this away, and you don't need a sharps container. And so you're going to turn this guy on, and it's going to hit confirm, and it says there's no active pump. Do you want to put one on? And so you're going to say yes. So it'll tell you here. It's really nice that it goes over all the directions with you, especially if you're new for it. So I'm going to hit next, and it's going to start priming, and you'll hear it ticks. So what the priming does is, in tubing with a pump, you can sometimes get air bubbles in the tubing, and there's a little bit of tubing in this one as well, just underneath my skin. But it helps get all the air bubbles out and kind of get the insulin to the front of the tube, so you're not like trying to get through all this air and all this tubing to not have insulin. So it primes for about 15 to 20 seconds, and then it should be good. And it'll beep again, eventually. Alright. And so, this is the needle cap, which obviously there's a needle underneath the cap. And you pop that off, and you pull these little guys off, and it kind of looks like a giant band-aid. I'm going to be putting one on my arm today. So you kind of just lift up here and flop it on. And you got to make sure it's all the sides are down so it doesn't come off and catch on things. So now it's saying that it's all ready, and if you want to, it's says infuse the cannula. So the cannula is basically a little catheter, super, super small. It goes underneath my skin, and that's how I get the insulin into my body. The metaphor that I like to use is that it's like an ear piercing. So the needle goes in, comes out, leaves an earring. The needle comes in, comes out, leaves the tubing. So you hit next, and start. And then I like to hold it, just like, you know, when you get a shot at the doctor. And there it goes. That big click was it going in, and it doesn't even hurt anymore. But yeah, I hope that was informative for you guys, and like if you have any friends that are diabetics, you can tell them like, hey, I know how to do this, or I can help you get your stuff together, or stuff like that, because I really appreciate when people are educated on this stuff. So yeah, I hope that helped you guys out.